re-stumped. The house is not level. The house needs to be re-stumped and it needs to be re-leveled. And then they said there was also asbestos. The shed is full of asbestos. And apparently there's some problems with leaking and damp in the roof. Not over the house, but over the porch.
Yeah.
There is, you can see the water spots on the thing. So there were 3 failed building inspections. All 3 building inspections failed. So it does need to be, there's like big repair jobs that need to be done. And Mum was like, look, you know, she goes, we could wait and try and get 1.5, 1.6. She goes, but if we wanted that, we'd have to put in at least 100,000 into fixing all this stuff.
Yeah.
She goes, or we can take less now while the market's hot.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'd rather take the money now, and then they're looking at a townhouse that they reckon is going to go for about 500,000.
Yeah.
And that's ideal because they said if we do that, we'll get out of it with $1 million still in the bank. Mum will retire, she'll take her annual leave at half pay, we'll take her all the way to the end of next year. And then Mum said, you guys secure your debts. Finish up your debt. She goes, try and get a little bit of money behind you. She goes, you've got 50 grand from us when you need it. She goes, hopefully next year you can buy it. Apparently the market's meant to drop next year.
My character went to jail.
Oh no, your character went to jail. That's an awesome plan.
Yeah, those ones like your college hotel beyond money.
I think so. And that's the jail, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be in that side.
I found that pretty dress for Clint today. $2.
Yeah.
$2. I know, I put it on her and I went, oh my god, you look like a princess. Yeah. That's okay. What, wee? Alright. Take off your pretty princess dress. Clean that crappy bum. Do you want to jump in the shower and have a wash?
Yeah, I like.
Yeah.
Take off this.
What's she saying?
She pulled it and it got stuck on her arm. She went, how do we get out of this thing like that? It was quite funny. Don't be embarrassed. Ooh. A little crepe. Let me take this little crepe and flush it away.
Daisy. Alright, sit down. No eating hotels, Daisy.
But yeah, no, my parents said, they said,
I'm so excited.
after they failed all the building inspections, the guy was like, realistically, we're looking at maybe 1.2.
Oh wow.
And they were kind of really disappointed and deflated and said, well, we'll go to auction and see how we go. And Mum was like, we really wanted 1.4, but with the failed building inspections, well, I they said we'd be lucky if we got 1.3.
Yeah, they did.
And she goes, they started at 1.2, we'll start the bidding at 1.2. She goes, dead silence. Nobody said anything. She goes, I was having a heart attack. And then someone went, 1.2, 10. And they were crawling up by 10,000 here and there.
Yeah.
And then she was like,
No. Eating hotel.
no, yeah. She said Raph came inside to them
Yeah.
and said, what do you want to do? Because it was just crawling. Is the house on the market, tell me. And Mum was like, yep, she goes, I want it sold today. And he walked out and he said, we're selling it today, folks. Has anyone got 1.3? And then it just hit off, apparently.
Oh, really?
Daisy. And it went from 1.3 and then it was jumping up 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. And then it started falling to 5,000. And it ended up, at 1.389. And they said it's a young couple who bought it and they want to start a family.
Aww.
So they were like, it's going to be our family home. And she said, I love it. We walked in, it's the only house we've seen that we liked.
Yeah.
She goes, I can't imagine, as soon as I walked in, I went, this is our house, this is where we're going to raise our kids.
Aww.
So then Mum was like, I got all emotional, because she's like, I said to them, this is a happy house. Nothing bad has ever happened here.
Aww.
She goes, no one has died or been murdered. She was laughing. She goes, someone's died or been murdered. She goes, there's never been anything bad, nothing bad has ever happened here. It's always been a happy home and a safe place. Where we've raised our kids and the grandkids, and it's just always been happy here. So she goes, I'm really glad it's going to a young family. And they she said other people had gone in, and the reactions they had were they wanted to go in and they wanted to gut it. They were like, oh, we just rip everything out. And why would you rip everything out? It's a period home.
Yeah.
You're going to modernise everything.
They're just going to fix lots of foundations and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're going to re-stump and re-level it and fix the damp in the roof. It's nothing that's super expensive.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I guess for other people who are planning on gutting it and redoing everything, yeah. Yeah, she is. For people who are going to go in and gut it and redo everything, the kitchen, everything, they'd be spending maybe 50,000, 100,000 just to redo the interior.
Yeah.
So, of course they're offering less, but this young couple love it as it is. And they just want to make little cosmetic changes and stuff. But they love it how it is. So it's nice that they're going into it saying, well, yeah, we don't need another 200,000 to fix everything and make it our own, because they love it as it is. They said it's us, you know, which was really nice. They were so Mum was they were happy. So we had champagne, everyone had, Steph and Callum came over. We ordered a glass of champagne to congratulate them.
Oh, nice. So cool.
Yeah, and then they were like, we're going to get Turkish food. But then they rang, they were too busy. Dad was very disappointed. Yeah, Pinabasa was too busy. And then they were like, alright, well, and we'll get Indian. And I was like, we get a really nice Indian place. I was like, it's near the Anytime Fitness. They were like, is it Salim's? I'm like, I think that's the one.
Yeah.
That's where they order theirs from. They're like, yeah, it's the best Indian place around. That's right, give it a minute. Steve's just been crapping all this from. But yeah, and so then we had Indian food and we hung out, and you know, Mum's just really relieved. She was so happy today, like she was playing with Clem, and you could just tell she was way less stressed.
Yeah.
and they reckon they're going to go for the townhouse, the 3-bedroom townhouse in Craigieburn, because they reckon it's going to go for 500,000 or under 500,000. And they were like, if we do that and it's got plenty of money in the bank, they don't have to worry about anything, you know. Because I said to them, I was like, don't do what Ben's parents did. They got 910, they spent 770 on the new apartment, you know, so they had to go into it with a mortgage, and then they paid off whatever debts they had, but they really didn't have anything left. They just wasted it. And Mum was like, no. She goes, the thing is, she goes, we were looking at houses that were more expensive, you know, 700, 800. But like, they were like, not only did we go into the townhouse and we were like, wow, we really like this. Not only did they really like it, but like the fact that it's going to go, we can potentially get it for 500,000, which means they were like, ultimately, well, we want more money in the bank so that we're not having to stress about money, and if we want to go overseas, we've got it, and, you know, Mum won't have to work anymore. Dad's retired, but he's still got the dog trailer. You know, he still wants to do dogs, just for pocket money. Yeah, so they were like, we'd rather spend less, and like, they were like, you know, it'd be good. But I said to them, I was like, well, you guys want to downsize, though. Like, part of selling the family home was that, you know, it's too big for them, for 2 people. And then on top of it being too big for 2 people, it's also like a lot of work in terms of maintenance for the garden. So I was like, everything that you want something a bit smaller, that's less work to clean and maintain, you know, especially the gardens. I was like, that's all what you want. Those are the complaints you have with this house. So moving to there, you know, like Mum said, she goes, oh, we have to get rid of a lot of stuff and downsize and that, but it's still 3-bedroom.
Yeah.
And it's technically a townhouse, but there's nobody corporate, and it's completely separate. You don't share a wall or anything with anyone. So they're like, it's technically like a house. You know, and they were like, it's really modern, which they didn't think they would like, because my parents they're not into like modern.
Yeah.
But Mum was like, you know, they're not going to do minimalist or anything, but they were like, you know, it's just the fact that the kitchen's all brand new, and she goes, we could do little cosmetic stuff, you know, we would paint the wall, we wouldn't keep it all white, but like we'd paint the walls, and she goes, like, put up shelving for all my plants, and she goes, we thought maybe we'd do a little bit of like a Japanese kind of thing with all the Kakeshi dolls, and she thought maybe outside they were talking about, because it's just grass, they said, well, when the dogs die, they are thinking about landscaping, doing a little Japanese garden, having like a pond for the fish, and maple trees, and like a deck and stuff.
Up here.
Yeah. So that's like what they want to do. So they're going to go, I think the auction's next week or the week after.
Alright, she's my phone. Alright, okay.
We gotta get out of here fast. Come on. Come on. The barns aren't going to hold. I know. The fire's spreading. I know.
Is that where you would die?